Hi, I'm at Danielle Joy 07. The person in my life that was affected by cancer was my grandfather, Herb Collins. Herb Collins was born on June 11, 1940. He fell in love and married Olive Beltham on December 18, 1963. He was able to witness the birth of his 7 children, 6 girls and 1 boy. He was there to walk his 5 daughters down the aisle and to stand by his only son as they were married. He was then able to see his 12 grandchildren be born, 7 girls and 5 boys. He was with his grandchildren in every milestone of their lives. This includes seeing 11 of his grandchildren graduate from kindergarten, 4 of his grandchildren graduate from high school, and finally he was able to see 1 of his grandchildren graduate from post-secondary education. And that's me. On December 12, 2009, my grandfather was rushed into the emergency room at James Payton Memorial Hospital in Gander, Newfoundland. After some testing, we were told that Pop had been diagnosed with small cell lung cancer. At that point, the doctor told us that he might not make it to Christmas, but he did. In January, he had to start his radiation and chemo treatments at this cancer clinic in St. John's, Newfoundland, over 3 hours away from his home and family. When he arrived at the clinic, they had noticed the cancer had spread to his bone, liver, and brain. That's when they decided to admit him to the hospital in St. John's. During this time, it was very hard for the family to be so far away from him. My grandmother stayed with him during his time in the hospital in St. John's, and my mother and my aunt would alternate weeks to spend in there helping their mother. At the beginning of March, his cancer treatment doctor decided he should go home and be with his family because it seemed as if the cancer cells were getting smaller and that the hospital in Gander would be fine to get his treatment. But while he was home, his doctor from the cancer clinic was still in touch with him and my name. Things were great for a while until Pop had a setback where he was ended back in the hospital in Gander. He spent a couple weeks in there hooked up to oxygen. When he finally was cleared to come home to his family, he had to bring home the oxygen tank with him. Now my Pop isn't a person to be sat down very long. He's always outside in his garden, gone down the road for a walk, or even just across the road visiting friends. When he brought home that oxygen tank, he was stuck in the house more. On June 11, 2010, Gambo had the replay for life, and Pop was asked to be in the survival walk. On the final lap around, he was getting a little tired, so my nan, mom, 2 aunts, and I started to walk with him. At that moment, I never felt so proud of my Pop. It was so touching and moving. It was at this moment that all my worries about everything were gone, and I was glad to have my Pop here with me, overcoming all his fears. Also on that day, he turned 70. We celebrated by having an open house. All our family members were there rejoicing that Pop had made it to this milestone in his life. So we partied, sang songs that he loved until midnight. But this happy time didn't stay long. About a week later, Pop once again was rushed to the emergency room in Gander, and at that point, we knew he wasn't going to be coming home again. The cancer in his brain had gotten bigger and was affecting his memory and remembering who we were at the time, but that never stopped us from spending time with him. We spent every day in the hospital with him by his bedside, comforting not only him, but our nan. In his final days, he ended up sleeping all day and all night long. He never talked much, but his children sat by his side and sang songs to him. On July 5th, 2010, my Pop was sent home last time to be with his father. On that day, we were hurting, but we knew that Pop wasn't in any more pain. Because of the cancer clinic, I was able to have my Pop with me for a much longer time. I will forever be grateful to the men and women who work there. They are caring and supportive to my family. So by donating money, you're not only helping the cancer research, but you're helping the people and their families go through a hard part in their lives. So if it's $100 or as little as $5, every penny counts. Please find it in your heart to help. Even though they might be strangers, they're also trying to fight the same disease as maybe one of your family members. We donate so that others won't have to lose a wife, a husband, a mother, a father, aunt, an uncle, grandmother, grandfather, or a friend. So please help.